1972's Electric Light Orchestra 2 feels significantly different from later Electric Light Orchestra albums. Despite Roy Wood's departure partway through the development of this album, Electric Light Orchestra 2 is very much reminiscent of the band's first album. High concept in how it handles the combination of rock and classical, it focuses very much on blending rock textures into long orchestral sections as opposed to the band's more famous format of working classical instruments into shorter mainstream rock songs. Every song on this album is quite long, and every song on this album serves to showcase every instrument. Jeff Lynne's guitar, Bev Bevan's drums, the synthesizer, the violins, the cellos, and the horns all have the spotlight throughout the album. The album's songs either have a lyrically melancholy or instrumentally sinister feel, with Roll Over Beethoven being the only really happy-sounding song of the album. Even the album's more upbeat sections oftentimes turn into darker-sounding pieces. This album is oftentimes overlooked, but it is a real gem in the band's catalog. It is very much different from where the band would be in the later 70s, but at the same time, it has a very good sound that's really unique to it. In Old England Town, Boogie No. 2 is a good song to start off the album. Like a lot of the tracks on this album, this song has a lot of long and furious instrumental sections between the catchy choruses. Musically, it sometimes reminds me of Here Comes the Sun and the Abbey Road medley from the Beatles' Abbey Road. This song was the Electric Light Orchestra's inspiration on its sleeve. It mixes Baroque-sounding orchestral music with the late-era Beatles sound. Mama is one of the somewhat warrior songs of the album. The lyrics tell a story of a woman leaving home after her mother's death. Both the vocal and lyrical style feel almost like a country or blues song. This song feels like one of the more commercial on the album, and I feel like if the band had been more popular at the time, a single edit of Mama could have easily been made. This is a very good song and an overlooked gem in the band's discography. There was nothing too special about Electric Light Orchestra's cover of Roll Over Beethoven. Having a symphonic rock band interpolate actual Beethoven with the song has some novelty to it, but in the end it feels more like a mission statement than a successful cover version of the song. It is technically impressive as a mashup song, but not the musical revelation it appears the band were hoping for. There was not much the Beatles could do on their cover that Chuck Berry could not, and as far as the rock sections of this song go, there's not much ELO can do that the Beatles could not. From the Center of the World, Boogie No. 1 has little to say lyrically, but very much to say musically. Long, fast, and hard instrumental sections expertly blend rock with classical music. The band would later stray away from this style of long shows of instrumental proficiency, which was honestly a loss, as it feels like this is one of ELO's most innovative moments. Perhaps the real centerpiece of this album is the last song, Kuiama. It is perhaps the closest thing to a classical tragedy ever pulled off by the band. This album came out the same month that the last American troops were withdrawn from Vietnam, thus making this Electric Light Orchestra's last chance to tread ground that many of their peers had long since well covered. Kuiama tells the story of an unprepared soldier who is forced into war by his government. Not knowing what is going on, the soldier accidentally kills the young girl's parents in front of her. Horrified by this, the soldier tries to comfort the girl and wishes they could have met under better circumstances. Many anti-war songs from this period, such as Queen's Clearwater Revival's Fortunate Son, primarily focused on the plight of American soldiers who were being drafted up to be killed, and did not focus on the civilian aspect or the side of the Vietnamese. Even songs that did not regulate their concern over death only to the American side oftentimes took a broad point of view, sometimes focusing on the soldiers on both sides, but oftentimes glamorizing the American draftees as pure. Kuiama, in contrast, focuses on both the plight of the American soldier and the Vietnamese citizen, and makes it very clear that the American troops were not all innocent. Sympathy is given to the soldier being someone completely out of their element and forced into a frightening situation, but the fact that the soldier committed a literal war crime is also not downplayed. Musically, the song is well executed, featuring appropriately melancholy vocals and playing. Jeff Lynne's voice can sound upbeat on relatively sad songs, but here he manages to pull out an almost bluesy sound. Towards the end of the song, we get a melancholy instrumental segment before going back into a more exciting part that recalls parts of some of the earlier songs of the album. This last part could arguably be a track in and of itself, as it solves the calf off the sound of the album, and then on a somewhat high note, as opposed to continuing to tell the story that Kuiama does. Before we go on to the final ranking of the album and its songs, I would like to show off the record sleeve. As you can see, this copy has seen better days, but I still think it looks quite nice. This is the American sleeve. There was a different one in the United Kingdom and all over the world, which had a slightly different vibe. It still had the light bulb, but it had it kind of like in a drawing in space. Whereas here it has it over a mountain ridge, and it has the band's name in a nice kind of fancy kind of, I guess, symphonic sort of font. If we turn it around, that continues across the album, and this isn't a gatefold sleeve, so you can obviously stretch it out and have it be one continuous image. I really do like it. It looks kind of mysterious, and it does, I think, match the sound of the album quite well. Perhaps better than the United Kingdom sleeve, actually. On the inside, you can tell it's got all the kind of like the track listing of the credits here, and it's got the same mountain ridge, and then over here it's got a picture of the band and the light bulb. They look kind of dorky. I do like Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra short with kind of an old style logo. That's kind of nice. Very 70s there. And this album also came with a printed liner. I don't actually keep recording this one anymore, as it has seen better days, but that's what it looks like. It has, there it is, it has text that basically describe the band's history and what their sound sort of is, and it actually is the same on both sides. It's a very nice blue color, and it has the same font and logo from the front of the sleeve, which I really like. But yeah, I think it's a really nicely packaged album. I very much prefer this to the next album's sleeve, although I do think I like the previous one's sleeve a bit better. But I do think it looks quite good, and I do feel like this does kind of, like, you got the electric here, you got kind of the orchestra here, you got kind of this mysterious, kind of dark, sinister vibe, which some of the sounds on the album clearly invoke. And so I do quite like it. I like the blue of this, and I like the way it's in a gatefold, and that wraps around, and it shows this one really large image. It looks really nice, I feel like. So yeah, there it is, Electric Light Orchestra 2. So, for final review scores of the songs, I give In Old England Town, Boogie No. 2, 7 out of 10. Mama, I give 9 out of 10. Roll Over Beethoven, 6 out of 10. From the Sun to the World, Boogie No. 1, 9 out of 10. Kuiama, 10 out of 10. And overall, I give the album a 9 out of 10. For my top 3 recommended songs from this album, I give Kuiama, Mama, and From the Sun to the World, Boogie No. 1. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and if you want to see more like it, please comment below. I have more Electric Light Orchestra album reviews that will be coming out soon. And please remember to like and subscribe the video.